Assalamualaikum and Salam Sejahtera to all dependents. My name is Daniel Ihsan bin Abdul Manaf. Today, I with my friends Muhammad Zamir Ibrahim will present about our research topic, which is the awareness of e-waste amongst the UiTM Kampus Seremban students. For research backgrounds, as more electronic and electric equipment is produced, more e-waste must be managed or disposed. If the e-waste is disposed or managed in irresponsible manner, such as the river, landfills, or by burning and send the waste into the informal sector, it may risk human life, damaging human health, and degrading the environmental quality. Based on Department of Environment (DOE), it estimates that by 2025, Malaysia would produce around 24.5 million of e-waste. Based on this, it is not quite good for the environment because the components of e-waste, it may contain dangerous and hazardous substance such as the mercury, lead, and cadmium. So that's why the awareness of the students is important in order to protecting our environment.
Assalamualaikum and Salam Sejahtera to all panel. Okay, next I will be presenting about problem statement of our research. Nowadays, technology has evolved rapidly, and because of that, human dependency to the technology has risen, especially the electronic device. The high dependency to the technology has made the amount of electronic waste to be increased. It is because, according to Jaya Maran, the electronic device has a short lifespan. This will lead to the electronic waste. The increasing amount of electronic waste is not good because ecosystem and human health can be affected by the uncontrollable and abundant e-waste. Based on the Global E-Waste Monitor 2020, Malaysia has generated a total of 364 kiloton of e-waste in 2019 alone, which is an average of 11.1 kg per capita, while 53.6 million metric tons of waste, an average of 7.3 per capita, has been generated worldwide. Not just that, e-waste is also dangerous because it contains dangerous and harmful compounds such as lead, cadmium, mercury, barium, and arsenic, where without proper disposal, it can bring harm to both human and ecosystem. Okay, next I will proceed with the research question and research objective of this study. Our study has 3 research questions, which is, the first research question is, what is the level of awareness among UiTM Campus Seremban regarding e-waste disposal method? For the second research question, is there any relationship between knowledge, practice, and attitude toward e-waste awareness among UiTM Campus Seremban student? And the third research question is, what is the most important factors that influence e-waste awareness among students in UiTM Campus Seremban? So we move on to the research objective. Our first research objective is to examine the level of awareness among UiTM Campus Seremban regarding e-waste. Next, research objective is to examine the influence of knowledge, practice, and attitude toward e-waste awareness among students in UiTM Campus Seremban. The last research objective is to determine the most important factors that influence awareness among students in UiTM Campus Seremban.
Okay, this is our conceptual framework for this research, which is the independent variable is knowledge, attitude, and practice, while the dependent variable is the awareness of e-waste. Okay, this is for the hypothesis for our independent variables, where the hypothesis for first independent variable is knowledge, which is there is no relationship between knowledge and awareness, while the H1 is there is relationship between knowledge and awareness. Next, for independent variable is attitude, which is there is no relationship between attitude and awareness, while the H2 is there is relationship between attitudes and awareness of UX. And for the hypothesis for last independent variable is practice, which is H0. There is no relationship between practice and awareness, and while the H3 is there is a relationship between practice and the awareness of UX among students.
So we move on to the research method of this study. For the research design, we use quantitative method. For the unit of analysis, it consists of the individual student from UiTM Campus Seremban that consists of 3 faculty, which is FSPPP, FSKM, and FSR. For the sample of this study, we choose to take 357 respondents among students of UiTM Campus Seremban. For the sampling technique, we use cluster sampling. For the data measurement, we use Likert scale. For the data collection, we use survey of questionnaire to collect our data. For the data measurement, we have used 3 methods to do the data measurement, which is the descriptive statistic, mean and standard deviation, next Pearson correlation, and we also use multiple regression. So we move on to the demographic profile of the respondent. In terms of gender, the male respondent is more than female respondent. The male respondent consists of 60.2%. In terms of age, the majority of the respondent is aging from 18 years old to 20 years old, with the percentage of 56.7%. For the current academic undertaking, the majority of our respondent came from Bachelor degree student, which consists of 59%. In terms of faculty, the majority of the respondent came from the faculty of FSPPP, with the percentage of 68.5%. For the semester, majority of our respondent came from student of semester 6, with the percentage of 47.3 and with the frequency of 165 students. For the on electronic device, it could be concluded that majority of the respondent have at least have own 4 device for electronic device, which is in percentage 49.3%, with the frequency of 172 students.
Okay, this is for our first finding, which is to examine the level of awareness of UX. It involves the dependent variables of awareness. The means is 4.1580, while the standard deviation is 0.7, 8100. In order to get the findings, we use the descriptive analysis, which is the normality test, in order to get this result. Okay, this for our findings for second objective, which is to examine the influence of each independent variable, which is knowledge, attitudes, and practice to the level of awareness. In this hypothesis, we use the Pearson's correlations in order to find the result, where the first result for first independent variable is 0.8 0.01, where the value is below than 0.05. Therefore, we reject H1 and accept H0 and accept H1. Same also with the second independent variable, which is the attitude, where the R value is 0.854, which is below than 0.05. Therefore, we reject H0 and accept H1. And for the last hypothesis for independent variable, which is the practice, the R value also is below than 0.05. Therefore, we accept the H1 and also reject the H0. Okay, for the last finding, which is to determine which of the independent variables most influence on the level of awareness, which is the dependent variables. For this analysis, we use the multiple regressions analysis. Based on the table, we can see that knowledge has the beta value of 0.473 with zero significance. For attitudes, it has a beta value of 0.671 with zero significance. And last, independent variables, which is the practice, it has a beta value of negative 0.291 with zero significance. Therefore, we decided the most beta value, which is the attitude, is the most influence attribute that influence the level of awareness of e-waste.
One of the limitations of the research is weakness of quantitative study. It is hard for the researcher to reach the target respondent as they tend to ignore the questionnaire. Therefore, the quantitative study also requires extensive statistical analysis, which can be difficult to perform for researchers from non-statistical background. The next limitation is limited sample size, because the research only focuses on one specific university, which is student in UiTM Campus Seremban only. This made the finding of this research cannot be used in other university. The first recommendation is the role of government. The government need to play their role effectively to increase the awareness toward e-waste disposal behavior. One of the initiatives that can be taken is to introduce more campaign on e-waste. The next recommendation is education. Education is one of the effective tools to increase awareness regarding e-waste disposal behavior. It is because education can help people learn more about electronic waste, such as what it is made of, how to properly dispose of it, and the benefit of disposing it. Not just that, education also can raise awareness and equip people to practice suitable e-waste disposal method. In the conclusion, the researcher has found that the relationship between independent variable and dependent variable is positive, and this means that all of the factors that influence the awareness of e-waste disposal behavior among students of UiTM Campus Seremban are significant and relevant. After that, the researcher also found that the most influential factors in awareness of e-waste disposal behavior among students of UiTM Campus Seremban is attitude. By doing this research, it helped to create a better understanding to increase awareness of e-waste among students of UiTM Campus Seremban. So that's all from us. Thank you.